So it's interesting when I spoke to you on the phone.
Yes.
Because I speak to a lot of consultants.
I'm sure you do.
And I ask them questions, kind of get their beliefs. I call it a belief check.
Right.
And a lot of it is they're teaching them about systems.
Absolutely.
These are the systems, these are the processes, and this is their, this is what dentists need.
Yes.
Which they need.
They need.
But you, on the other hand, it was almost as if that was a given. That's a fact. We need to do processes.
Yes.
But how do we get them to carry all of these things out?
Right.
Consistently. And you told me on the phone, and I'm completely paraphrasing, but it had to do with everybody getting along.
Yeah.
And everybody feeling good about what they're doing.
Yes.
So you say that you help them give and receive critical information. Or
right.
What do you say?
Critical feedback.
Critical feedback.
Yes.
Okay. So tell me about that part
Yes.
of your consulting.
Yes. It's one of my favorite parts. I think your ability to give and receive critical feedback is a barrier to success.
Working definition.
Working definition. Can I give you a little example?
Yes.
One of the best things that ever happened to me is one day I had a client of mine who pulled me into his office and took time with me. And one of the things he said is, you always ask for critical feedback, Lorraine. Do you really mean it? And I said, yes. And one of the things he said to me is, I think you're brilliant at what you do. And I'd love to refer you to a number of my friends, but I can't because of the way you dress. Now that's critical feedback.
Okay.
All right. And so that's
they told you didn't dress well enough.
They told me I didn't dress well enough.
Wow. Okay.
Was that a gift? I mean, if you think about it, he really had to, for a man to take a woman and say that, right? But he really had to think a lot of me and my work to take that risk. It would have been a whole lot easier not to.
But you received that as a positive.
It was a gift. It was a thank you.
Most people could have taken that as...
I had to learn. That was a learned skill. I mean, I can't imagine 20 years ago if someone would have done that. I think I would have been completely flustered by that. And he was able to, in 10 minutes, go through some information and teach me things that were life-changing for me. It did make my business better. It did make me happier, and it's better for my kids. It was a pivotal moment, right?
Okay, good.
So I teach people, there are two things we have to learn. We have to learn how to receive it without
And we're
bias.
talking about the team members.
Everybody.
So you're there, you're
Everybody's-
talking to the team, you're talking to the dentist.
How do you receive it? What are the steps that happen to you in your mind that don't work? And how do you overcome those? And it's just a simple discipline. And so it's how do you receive it, but also how do you give it? How do you learn how to give feedback in an appropriate way? And I'll go back to, it's not what you tell people that counts, it's what they hear.
Okay. So, for example, in the case of an office manager,
Right.
when they have to say, you are doing this wrong,
Yes.
right? I want you to do it this way or the way we've
Right.
discussed it. You're saying that employee that normally might take that hard or carry it with them for the rest of the day pouting or whatever,
All right.
you're going to teach them how to take that and say, wow, this is good news.
Yes.
This is positive.
Yes.
And you can do that.
I can do that.
Well, good for you.
I can do that. It's better for the employee, right? It's better for the employee. But it's not just the employee. I teach the office manager how to frame it, how to make it more of a learning discussion, because really critical feedback isn't about right or wrong, is it? It's about what are we doing together. So I teach them how to frame it. And also, I think for the person receiving critical feedback, it feels like it would be easy for someone to do that, but it's pretty hard to sit down with somebody that you care about and do that sometimes. So it makes sense to get better.
So give us some tips then, like a tip you might give people on how to take this positive or this critical feedback.
Yeah, this critical feedback.
Okay.
It's a great question. When you hear critical feedback, for most of us, we go into defense mode, and that's part of the way we're built, right?
Okay.
What I teach you is to create a discipline to feel gratitude. It's such a gift when people can tell you that. And so when you're in gratitude, it doesn't matter how they give you the feedback then. You're just grateful for the information. The second thing is, most people get hung up on this, is it true or not? We can't hear it because we decide it's true or not. And my answer is, I could care less. It's, is there a truth? It's there.
So if somebody says, like you gave in your example, you're a bad dresser, I can't refer you. You're not wrapped up in whether it's true or not. You're saying, this is their perception.
This is their perception, and how wonderful and valuable it is they gave it to me. And so, at that point in time, I did what I teach. I said, thank you. Tell me more. Help me understand.
Okay.
What is it that you see and hear? And it's interesting how people are able to help you. I mean, one of the simple things in that conversation was, one of the things he said is, Lorraine, I'm a periodontist. We're really visual. You come in my office wearing big jangly earrings and your message is all about helping people hear information. When you talk to me, I'm watching your earrings move. Stop that.
This guy sounded like he had a little bit of problem.
No, he's a great person, but he
Okay.
was, you know, he had been through some of the process.
So if you tell an employee you're not friendly to patients, or you need to be friendlier to patients.
It's some patients.
So what should somebody say?
Some
then? What do you
patients
teach
feel
them
like
to say?
some patient. I'm hearing that some patients feel like your manner or the way you come across doesn't.
We'll role play, and I'm saying I'm always friendly to patients.
I'm always friendly. You are friendly. I would say, Randy, you are friendly. Absolutely, and I know you. What happens is there's some things in the way you function in your work process that make it difficult for people to see that.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is help you look at what you're doing that gives people that perception. And you know the difference, Randy, is I know you, so I know you're friendly, but our patients only get to see you for seconds. Okay. So we have to look at how you're able to let them see that friendliness even when you're busy. And I can help you do that.
Okay. So the way my mind works, if somebody gives me criticism, I don't take that away from them. Like you say, if somebody says you're really abrasive to some of your clients, I'm going to say, really, what do you mean? I'm going to ask for clarification.
Yes.
You know?
And I think
so is that what you're, I mean,
that's what
but a lot of people's minds may go, you know.
Yes. However, if you said thank you first, thank you. Okay. Thank you for telling me. Because
boss gives you a hard time and you say thank you.
Oh, what a difference that would make. You would, you know, if you want to do well in your practice, make more, be more valued, make it easy for your boss to tell you things. And when your boss comes to you and says, Randy, when you do this, I don't like it. If you could have the presence of mind to look up at him and say, thank you, doc, for telling me. How would you like that to be different? Let me tell you, at review time, they're in love with you. And they will invest more funds into growing your skills.
Okay.
What I see is the doctor, and I can tell in a practice who the doctor's more comfortable. The first day, who is the doctor more comfortable giving critical feedback to? Because they're the people that they grow more.
Interesting.
And you can see it right off the bat. The people that they're more uncomfortable giving critical feedback to, they give less to. Those people tend to fail more. They get angry with them, and they fail more. Do you see the cycle?
Yeah.
I want to break that cycle. Because I think
so hearing that when you're there live, and this is what I'm picking up on, when people hear that, okay, that's me. I'm too sensitive.
You know, sometimes we.
What I'm saying is they must think that when they're there listening to you, going, "Boy, that's me."
And
I'm too sensitive.
I'm too sensitive, and I don't know if I'd call it sensitive. It's just, you know, again, we have different backgrounds, so we process it differently. Again, I'll go to my friend Maggie across the street, right?
Okay.
She would take direct feedback. It would take her time to get comfortable processing that as not being about her, and still be able to hear the message in a direct way and find joy in it.
So are there doctors, by the way, that tell you, if I say one thing to her, she's upset all day, walking around with a mad face. So I just don't even tell her.
So I don't tell her anything.
And because of that, I don't even know what to do. My hands are in the air.
Yes.
I can't fire her.
I can't fire her.
So you can turn those kind of relationships around. And is that the big problem in these big successful practices?
Yes.
That means there's a lot of these little relationship problems going on.
Going on all over the place.
Between the office manager and the employee.
Absolutely.
And everybody doesn't think that the other one understands them and their job.
Yeah. Yeah. I had one situation, I had a hygienist and an assistant that in the practice, they barely talked to each other for 2 years and they thought they didn't like each other. And we had some discussions and both of them came to me later the next day together and said, we realized we fabricated this whole thing. They were hugging each other. I thought, isn't that amazing? You spent 2 years of energy. Think if you could have taken that energy and made it fun. Wouldn't that have been great? And you take the patient care side.
Okay.
What would have happened in some of the discussions and the support with the patients if there hadn't been that relationship for 2 years?
Okay.
What if it would have been what they became?
So you're consulting, and I want to make sure this is where I'm getting it is okay. So because a lot of the consultants are teaching processes.
Yes, those
these
things
are the
so important.
systems.
Yes.
And you're saying, okay, you agree with all
I
of those
agree with
things,
all that.
but how do you keep harmony while getting all of this done? Is that right?
Yes.
Is that kind of what you're
It's
teaching
kind of what,
in a way?
yes.
I mean, because I know it's more to it than that,
There's more to it than that.
but that's what breaks all of these systems down.
Yes. I create process for the communication process as well as the systems and processes. And I work them through it. And there's not always harmony sometimes. I hate to say that, but it's not that it's bad, but there's harmony, but sometimes it's a little bit, we have to get out of our comfort zone a little bit.
We're out of time on this segment. Somebody wants to get started with you or to learn more.
Yes.
Where do they begin?
Where do they begin? Call me.
Okay.
Call me, send me an email, I'll make a time, and I'll give you an hour, and out of that hour, even if you don't work with me, you'll know something that makes your life better. That's my goal.
So you're going to make their job easier.
I'm going to make their job easier.
You say people fall in love with dentistry again.
I know.
Isn't that true?
Wonderful? Well, yes, and we should. What we're doing is amazing for people. And that's why we started. So why not create a practice that throughout your entire practice you get to feel that way? Why not?